Hey guys, Magus here, and I have a game review that I wasn't expecting to do, but I really thought I should do it. I know this is a more exposed game than what I usually do, but fuck it, I liked it. And considering that I did Portopia a couple weeks ago, and I figured this is a good follow-up. So this is, as you all know, the Famicom Detective Club was those games for the Famicom that came out in '88 in Japan, was never released here until this year when they were remade. And we got the remakes of both Famicom Detective Club The Missing Heir and the second one, the girl who's behind. My memory's been shit lately, so I do apologize for that, for forgetting names. Usually I'm pretty bad, pretty good about it, but lately I don't know. Anyhow, I finished a Famicom Detective Club The Missing Heir, and while I was working on the review for Arabian Magic, I decided to do this one. So let us get this out of the way. This is Famicom Detective Club The Missing Heir. Came out back in May. This is the remake. And overall, I will say I really enjoyed this game. Basically, the basic concept, let's do my brief synopsis. Basically, the beginning of this game, you are a guy who's a detective and you fall on grass, and this guy finds you and he takes you to his apartment, and the mystery is you have to find, how can I put it? You have to get your memories back. Not only that, but you also have to, you find out that you're basically investigating the death of this woman who was the CEO of this gigantic company, and the butler hired you because he believed the death was suspicious. So that's the basic concept. So basically, this is an adventure game. You have the menu. What's interesting about this game, though, is it's pretty streamlined. I heard there's some parts that might be a tiny bit cryptic, but I didn't find this game too difficult. I figured out a lot of it. I think I used the guide once or twice, but I figured it out quite a bit pretty quick. The thing with it that's interesting is I looked at the original, I looked at the fan translation. What's interesting is certain acts. Well, let's talk about the menu real quick, because this is what I found interesting about this remake. It's very streamlined. For example, in a lot of those old games, you have all the options available to you, like knock, open, look, examine, that type of stuff. What's interesting, though, about this game is that in certain scenes or certain areas, for example, in the mansion living room, take is always available, but if you go somewhere else, take is not always available. There's also other areas where open is not available, but it is open in other areas. So it kind of streamlines it in that sense. And I found the game really quite easy, to be honest. And that wasn't too bad, because the thing about this game is, I think this is a good one if you're really trying to get into this type of game, the adventure game, visual novel, etc., etc. I mean, it's great for that, and they really, like, this was made by Magus, the guys who does the science adventure series, i.e. games like Steins Adventures, Chaos Head, Robotic Notes, and I've been playing Steins Gate, and that's pretty great so far. But anyway, with that said and done, I will say this, guys. I did enjoy this game. I enjoyed my time with it. I feel the characters were, for the most part, well developed. I don't, you have a sidekick, Ayumi. I would have liked to learn more about her, but from what I understand, you learn more about her in the second game. So that's fine and dandy. The story's really good. It's got plot twist after plot twist that all relevant. The story is tightly written. It's a really well-written investigation story. It's really tightly written. The continuity is solid. There's no plot holes. I really enjoyed the story to this. And there's a lot of good twists in this. So if you want a good little story, this is a good game to enjoy. Took me about 10 hours to complete this, and I have to say I enjoyed it for the most part. Only thing is that, there is some characters. There's a detective that you actually work for. We don't know anything about him, but I guess that's, again, explained in the second game. Let's see what else. And I mean, you know, there's just some things in it, and there, like I said, there's some bizarre old design in it that I got stuck in. Like there's some parts where like this is kind of a weird thing to do, you know. But other than that, you know, it's a really good game. It's worth it, I'd say. And like I said, if you're looking for a good story, I would get this. I would get this. The music is fantastic. It's got that old NES pumping, you know, blood pumping sound to it. You know, modernized obviously. There's really nice music. There's a little nice theme that plays when things are calmed down, and there's some scenes that are intense. But let's talk about this compared to Portopia. You know, this game was very influenced by Portopia, specifically the ending, the final challenge, I would say, is very influenced by Portopia, very much so. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it is very much the same as Portopia in the end. Not in terms of story, but more in terms of how they end it, like what the final thing is that you have to do. It's very interesting. So you could very much tell that is that Portopia influence in this game. However, it's its own beast. You know, I think it's got a more fleshed out story than Portopia did, obviously. I'm not too sure if they added more fleshing out in the remake or if it's in the old one. I would like to take a look at the old one. But again, this game was really fucking cool. And I will give this an 8 out of 10. So with that, guys, Magus out.